Thank you, Greg, and thank you, Ben. I'm going to go rapid fire. Here's some headlines from today. We see that inflation's higher than they thought, that there's going to be no rate cuts in the foreseeable future, and yet the NASDAQ just had its 7th record close of 2024, and that the American country is running out of money. There's a massive debt bomb. Next headline, Walmart's cutting a massive amount of jobs, consolidating offices. And then there's Tesla, who laid off a lot of people, but then decided to rehire them on the Tesla supercharger team. And so it's interesting to see this vacillation in the economy of both highest levels of success and yet, a lot of concern and worry and vacillation. You see that the U.S. is doing massive tariff hikes to China, trying to get more jobs and manufacturing in the U.S. Some macro events happening right now is we're still in the middle of 2 regional wars that nobody's really talking about, which is interesting. Both Ukraine and Russia, and then Israel and the Middle East. And those have huge implications. We have the 2024 Olympics in Paris coming. If you're spending money online in any capacity, you can expect that in June, July, that those dollars and what you're spending won't go as far because you're competing against multi-billion-dollar brands that are spending massive amounts of money. You can also think about the election, and that $11 billion is expected to be spent on 2 former presidents that we already know a lot about. And that will have a dramatic impact as you look at Q4 and potentially ramping up spend. That dollar may not go as far if you're not agile and careful. So agility is key. A couple of just quick trends to share with you. This is U.S. department stores' share of retail sales. So this goes back to about 1955, and in 2023, they're at just a little over 2% of total retail is department stores. So Macy's continues to close 150 doors. Advertising revenue by platform. So Google is $237 billion. And then Facebook at 153, plus Instagram at 50. And what's interesting is that Google is on the top of the heap, but they're scared to death, and the stock is vacillating because Google misses on ad revenue with AI trends. Alphabet hit with double-digit downgrades with AI, and how AI chat search could disrupt online advertising. You may never need to go to Google again with AI as you're looking for answers, as you're trying to make decisions and do product discovery. So it's interesting what we're seeing. I won't spend too much time on this, but generational preferences of how people are discovering new products. It differs dramatically. If you're Gen Z, Millennial, Gen X, and Baby Boomers. Just to highlight here, 39% and 45% of Gen Z and Millennials, they're learning about new products through social media influencers. That is how most of the time they're finding new products and then buying them. And yet, our friends, and I can say this because I'm not one of them yet, Gen Xers and Baby Boomers, television and retail stores, it composes 47 and 74% of how they're learning about new products. A dramatic difference. So a key insight is, TikTok, even though we're still learning how to tame it, Instagram, Snapchat, if you're trying to appeal to that younger audience that has, growing, economic abilities and purse strings, you might need to shift on how you've always done things. So 4 quick takeaways. To be agile as a brand in 2024, generative AI. I saw a headline today that said, AI took my job, ... to the next level. And I thought that was clever. And if all of us are thinking about AI in that way, if we're not using it in our businesses, in our personal lives, we will and probably already are being left behind. Number 2, market dynamics. We have to be very closely watching the news, the stock market, seeing some of these mega trends and shifts, cultural sentiment changing as quickly as it does with social media. If you can be agile and pivot quickly in how and where you're spending, not just budget, but your time and your campaign and your messaging for your businesses, that matters a lot. Number 3, data-driven decision making. How much to invest in certain campaigns, when to lean in, when to pull back, it matters a lot. And these micro decisions that you're making if you have really good data in your business as an attribution, you'll be able to make the most and a profitable ROI. And lastly, collaborative partnerships. This has been the name of the game for the last several years. Going to market with partners, not just social influencers, but content creators and other brands, and thinking about how do we, together come and conquer a particular market or category. It matters a lot. Last word, in the fast-paced world of advertising, staying ahead means embracing agility. It's not just about predicting trends, because none of us can, but being flexible and being able to adapt to them quickly. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the conference.